Good evening, everybody. My name is JP, and all the way down against the dock is my co-host Hillary, and there's Sarah down there too. You can wave to her. We want to welcome you to Disney-MGM Studios Backlot Tour. We're going to start your tour right here in the special effects water tank. To get a better idea of how a unique set like this is used in production, take a look at those overhead monitors. And that famous squid fight scene from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, that giant squid is a monster from our own as a full-size mechanical effect. And in the Poseidon adventure, that tidal wave was created using large water-filled drum tanks that run over a scaled-down model of an ocean liner. For folks here at Disney-MGM Studios, we've got our own dump tanks and we've got our own mechanical marvel, this pilot house, which is a full-size recreation of a pilot house you'd find on an actual tugboat, and it also serves as a full-scale mock-up of the pilot house of our own tugboat, the Misfortune. And speaking of misfortune, I see Hillary's brought out our volunteer. Hi, what's your name? Hi, Angela. It's nice to meet you. And you are? Mickey, it's been nice knowing you. If you turn around and follow Hillary back, step inside there and spin the wheel of misfortune. That way our skipper said Angela and I are going to create a storm sequence using some heavy-duty mechanical effects. But before we do that, we do need to check on Mickey and make sure that everything is okay. Ahoy there, skipper, how you doing? You're going to do a whole lot better if you put your hood up over your head. While you're at it, tighten the strings. Pull the strings on either side. Trust me on that. Our scene begins when Hillary rocks the pilot house to simulate movement on the open sea. To make it more believable, we're going to add some rain. In a moment, we'll add wind, and then I want all of you to cue the action. I'm going to count to 3. When I get to 3, I want every one of you to yell as loudly as you can, dump it. Angela, when you hear dump it, that's your signal. Push the silver lever all the way forward. Only when you hear dump it. This way. Is everyone ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Great. Now we're going to take a scene we just shot, and together with some footage of our miniature tugboat in a similar water tank with wind and rain effects. Let's see how miniature mechanical effects and 2 highly skilled professionals can work together to create a classic high-speed adventure. And considering that Angela just dumped over 400 gallons of water on poor Mickey's head, I think she went to the storm pretty well. Let's give them both a big round of applause. Now what else can we do with a tank like this? Well, recreating a full-scale naval battle scene could certainly sink a film's budget. So that's why we use miniatures like the ones you see here in our tank. But how do you film a miniature ship cutting through the ocean? Check out the monitor to show you how it's done. If you leave that watership is flat, then our miniature looks fake, so it won't be at weight. But if those waves are too big, then our miniature looks like a toy while they round in the bathtub. To get around these problems, we use large fans to create small, fast-moving waves. And then we slow the entire sequence down and make it at its proper scale. By adding smoke, sound effects, dramatic music, and that sequence is almost complete. I didn't say almost complete because we need a few more things. Like explosions provided by our powerful underwater air cannon. We need a brave and talented actress, and tonight we've got Angela. We also need a highly skilled special effects expert. You might recognize Nikki back there. I've heard she's just recently retired from acting. Alright, now it's going to be your turn, Angela. You're playing the part of Captain Duck, commander of the USS Totally Sinkable. In our action-packed adventure, all hands on deck. Are you ready? Your scene begins like this. While on patrol in the deepest, darkest regions of our special effects water tank, you spot a battleship, Angela, off the distance and fire torpedo right to the bow section. Fire, Captain! Nice shot. Unfortunately, that's one of ours. Enemy aircraft at 10 o'clock. Captain, But you have yet to survive the revenge of Mickey. Look off in the distance, Captain. She's got torpedoes aimed at you in all directions. Fire torpedoes. They're coming closer and closer. Captain, you're a dead duck. Nice shot, Mickey. Let's take a look at our Captain's explosive performance in super slow motion. You both are fantastic. I can say it's still flat. Let's have a big round of applause for our great volunteers. We're going to follow Hillary off the dock to get dried off. Folks, this concludes our show here at the Special Effects Water Tank. You guys can follow us with your hand on all the way down to the left through the prop warehouse and shuttle for Catastrophe Canyon waiting for you. Once again, my name is JP. My co-host is Hillary. Have a great evening here at the Disney-MGM Studios. Bye-bye.
How frequently do they put these things on during the day?
All day.
Mickey Mouse here, like it? Make sure they have them everywhere.
Oh, so this is what they do when they
And give me a big wave. Can everybody hear me? All right. Not that I know you can hear me. I know you can hear my words. Warning, those of you sitting on the right-hand side of the shuttle, that's my side over here. You may be getting just a little wet on our tour today. But you know what? That's okay, because your friends over on the left that are pointing and laughing at you, they're going to get wetter. So you want to trade places right now for time to do it, because once we get started, there is no standing or trading places permitted. Now on this tour, we're going to see some exciting and unusual things, but please remember to remain seated at all times. That's very, very important. And also for the courtesy of those around you, please refrain from smoking. Also going to ask that everybody keep their hands, feet, head, and all personal belongings inside the vehicle at all times. And now that I've told you what you can't do, let me tell you what you can do. You can take as many pictures and as much video as you like. You're going to want to keep those cameras ready. We have no photo restrictions, so you never know who or what you're going to see on our tour. And as soon as I get clearance from Mission Control, thank you very much. We're all clear. Here we go. Okay, even though you've probably been here all day, let me just officially welcome you to the Disney-MGM Studios. We are the Florida counterpart to Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, California. As I mentioned before, my name is Christy. I am your tour guide, but I am only one half of this team. Let me introduce you to the better half. Sitting behind me at the wheel up here and driving the big shuttle is Ernie. Woohoo! Let's hear for Ernie. Yay!
Oh,
Hi. We love you, Ernie.
Welcome to Florida.
He's a great driver. He's going to be taking us safely through our tour today. And I can't think of a better way to start off the tour than with the symbol and landmark of the Disney-MGM Studios, so take a look high up in the sky towards the front of the shuttle. You'll see our award-winning Earful Tower. Its design was based on the water tank Walt Disney had built at his Burbank Studios in 1939. Ours stands a lucky 13 stories tall and is capped off by a set of Mickey Mouse ears. Each one of those ears weighs over 2.5 tons, and its 28.5-foot diameter translate into a hat size of 342 3/8. Now we know that hat size because that is the size of our driver Ernie's head. No, I'm just kidding. That is because when we during the holiday season we climb up to that tower and top it with a big red stocking cap. Actually, it's quite a sight. Now the Disney-MGM Studios is much more than just a theme park. We're actually a high-tech working production center, and we feature sound stages, outdoor sets, state-of-the-art editing facilities, as well as recording studios. Everything you might need to create film, television, and even radio shows. We usually have a number of productions going on throughout the studio, and today, of course, was no exception. All day in our backlot, they were testing some new special effects, and if we can get clearance, we may be able to have a chance to drive through that set. Now, it is pretty late. They probably have gone home for the day, so hopefully we'll look out and get to take a peek onto that set. But I'll let you know later on in the tour as we do get closer to that set. Now, the first prop we're going to be looking at today is this 1/5 scale model of the Space Shuttle Freedom. It's from Disney's blockbuster hit Armageddon, starring Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, and Steve Buscemi. This is just one of the two shuttles. The other one was called the Independence, but that was destroyed when it crash landed on the asteroid the size of Texas. Now, coming up over to your left are some one-story beige buildings. They're called bungalows, and they provide office space for the production companies who use our studio facilities. Here the writers, directors, actors, production staff, and even the stars meet to go over final details, talk movie deals, and take care of the day-to-day business before shooting begins. Currently, they're being used by Haxon Films, who are the producers behind the Blair Witch Project. They're currently working on a new romantic comedy called Heart of Love that should be coming out later this year. And they're also working on a brand new television series called Fearsome, which should be out on the Fox Network this fall. If you take a look over to your right, you'll get your last eyeful of the Earful Tower. I got a little messed up there. Sorry about that, folks. Right now we're entering the glamorous world of creative costuming, and in costuming the whole process begins with the designer's sketch. You can see examples of some of those sketches over on the far walls. Later, our talented seamstresses and tailors turn those sketches into the finished garments worn by our performers. And over to your left in our showcases, you can see examples of some of these costumes worn by Sir Anthony Hopkins in Instinct, Bruce Willis in the Oscar-nominated film The Sixth Sense, Adam Sandler as he played Bobby Boucher in The Waterboy. Next case, we have the costume worn by Matthew Broderick as he played Inspector Gadget in the film Inspector Gadget. And in the last case, you'll see some NASA flight suits worn by Ben Affleck and Steve Buscemi in Armageddon. Our team of about 250 skilled professionals using over 1 million yards of fabric a year to create over 25,000 costumes makes ours the largest working wardrobe in the world. To give you an idea of just how much laundry we do here at the Walt Disney World Resort, well, you'd have to do a load of laundry every day for the next 33 years to equal the 4 tons of laundry we do in just one day. If you take a look over to either side of the shuttle, you'll see some prop storage areas. And then as we reach the end of the tunnel, go ahead and look over to your right. You'll see some props from Disney's George of the Jungle, starring Brendan Fraser, as well as the Armadillo Land Rover from Armageddon. This big silver prop vehicle can actually run at speeds of up to 40 miles an hour, and it costs about $1.2 million. Finally, over to your left is our scenic shop. This is where scenic artists and designers create all the sets used on our sound stages, as well as that on location. One of the great things about the movies is that they can take us to so many different places. From the house next door, you can travel to a dangerous canyon, or even voyage to the bottom of the ocean. Right now, we're going to enter our backlot, where we can visit any of those places I just mentioned. For example, if you're looking for an undersea adventure, you're going to want to head for that large green tent coming up on your left-hand side. This contains our underwater special effects tank. Now, it does resemble a large swimming pool, but the bottom can be sculpted to look like the ocean floor, and this provides a safer and more controllable environment than shooting in nature. It was most recently used for the film Held for Ransom, starring Dennis Hopper. That should be coming out soon. And before that, it was used for the film The House on Haunted Hill, starring Jeffrey Rush and Peter Gallagher. That was used for the underwater nightmare scene in that movie. Right now, we're going to take a look at some unusual houses. We're entering an area known as Residential Street. I want you to notice something a little odd as you look through this first house coming up on your right. Actually, that is what's odd about it. You can see straight through it to the backyard. That's because there are no insides or backs to any of these homes on Residential Street. They are all just false fronts or facades. Because different scripts call for different neighborhoods, each of the 8 houses on this street were designed to reflect different styles of American architecture. When Jim Varney was here filming Ernest Saves Christmas, they used this house number 242 on the right for the exterior shots of Vern's house. By the way, this was the first full-length feature filmed here at the Disney-MGM Studios back in 1988, 1 year before the park opened. And that makes it 12 years that we still haven't figured out how to turn off that sprinkler. Sorry about that, everyone. And thank you very much, Ernie. That was very refreshing. Okay, coming up in just a few moments are some houses you might recognize. For 7 seasons, the beige wine-style house coming up on your left was home to 4 lovely ladies, Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia, otherwise known as the Golden Girls. The exterior house shots for the Golden Girls were shot here, then edited together with interior footage shot on a soundstage in California. The blue Cape Cod style house coming up also on your left was home to Alice in the Disney Channel's Adventures in Wonderland. And now it's being used for Donna's Day. It's a creative parenting show on the Odyssey Network. If you take a look across the street, this large 2-story facade was used as the Weston's home in Touchstone Television's hit sitcom Empty Nest, starring Richard Mulligan, Dinah Manoff, Christy McNichol, and Bear the dog as Dreyfus. When production crews travel to cities and towns to shoot on location, they have to deal with many things they have little or no control over, like traffic, crowds, and noise. To get around these problems, they often choose to shoot here on our backlot. And that does bring us to our New York City street set. It's our urban counterpart to Residential Street. It looks like we are going to be bypassing it for the time being, though, so that we can head further into the backlot. But don't worry, everyone, we should be coming back just a little bit later. Now, one of the most popular things about the movies these days are the action sequences. And you may have wondered where all those cars, trains, buses, and boats go after they've been chased, shot at, smashed up, and blown apart. Well, a lot of them end up right here in our boneyard. Now, it's not as scary as it may sound. Boneyards are actually like big outdoor attics where we keep oversized props until they're needed for production. The three totem heads coming up on the corner are from the adventure film The 13th Warrior, starring Antonio Banderas, and the silver and red spaceship was flown by Christopher Lloyd as My Favorite Martian. This miniature cattle car was used to transport a miniature Joe in the film Mighty Joe Young, starring Bill Paxton. And all these military-looking vehicles were used by Steven Spielberg for the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, starring Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. Pay close attention to the tread on this tank coming up. It's actually made of foam rubber instead of steel. This saved a lot of wear and tear on the actors as well as the stuntmen, who all had to be repeatedly thrown on top of it. We also have two small mine cars from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And this yellow futuristic forklift is from Bicentennial Man, starring Robin Williams. Next up are a series of props from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. The first one is Judge Doom's infamous Dipmobile. And next we have an orange trolley car, which is actually a modified city bus. If you look closely, you'll see that the steel wheels are made of fiberglass and that they're just fitted over the tires of the bus. Finally, from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, we have 3 blue Plymouths. These are 3 cars of 7, all meant to show just one car in different stages of destruction. The yellow helicopter is from Ellen's Energy Adventure, now playing at Epcot's Universe of Energy. The blue helicopter cockpit is from the film Blue Thunder, starring Roy Scheider and Daniel Stern. We have 2 prop planes from Disney's The Rocketeer, starring Bill Campbell and Jennifer Connelly. The long black speedboat is from Disney Presents The 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage. If you saw the film Starship Troopers, you may recognize these 2 spaceships. Between them we have some mining cars from The Rock, starring Nicolas Cage. Now up ahead is a large standing set, where they filmed several TV specials and commercials. This is where they're testing those special effects I was telling you about. Ernie, do we have clearance to go inside?
They said they're working on something. It's okay to just go in, but to be quick about it, okay? So we're just going to go ahead in there.
Okay. If you think it's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta talk to
All right, here we go, folks. Now, like I said, they probably have gone home for the day. It looks pretty deserted, so we should be pretty safe inside. Since we are going to be traveling over a bumpy bridge, though, I warn you to keep a firm grasp on all those loose items like cameras, purses, cell phones, small children, and please remember, everyone, to remain seated at all times.
Chrissy, do you want me to stop in here?
Yeah, Ernie, if you can you stop up ahead? Thank you very much. Okay, this canyon was modeled after an actual canyon in Southern California. It took our production crew almost 6 months to build. That may seem like a long time for just one set, but it's not so bad when you consider how long it would have taken Mother Nature to create the real thing. And Ernie is going to stop him here for just a few moments, so you can go ahead and take some pictures, and I'll tell you some little known facts about the canyon. Now, up above where you can't see are some special platforms where cameras are mounted so that they can shoot down onto the set below. If you take a look across the ravine, that large tanker truck used to be in our boneyard. Since we couldn't drive it across the ravine, we had to hoist it up with a crane over the canyon wall and lower it down into place for the shot. Now, earlier today, we're testing a rain effect, and production crew, you think maybe you could turn that on for us? Just give us a little demonstration. Is anybody left up there? Is anybody left, Ernie, do you think? Oh, thank you very much, guys. Okay. We can create just about anything here in our backlot, even the weather, as you can see right here. We created rain effect high-powered weather stop to place up above out of shimmery, and nozzles on the end of the stop spray that weather out with an improved cross pattern to give it a more natural look as it's falling. No, C162. I didn't know where you were still filming. Can we come in, please? I have a tour show down here. Guys, can you hear me? Oh, okay, we're moving now. Everybody hang on, let's prepare to be in this scene. World here.
I don't know if this is part of it, but I was getting rained on.
Canyon. So, what did everyone think about it? Look at that. Well, I'm going to take a look behind the scenes to see how cool these catastrophes were created.
That was pretty cool.
The canyon itself is a steel structure covered with wire mesh. The wire mesh is then covered with a layer of colored concrete and then hand-cut to look like natural rock formation. The tall yellow pipes you can see running throughout the set carry the gas for the fire and explosions you saw, and the large gray pipes carry the water for the flash flood. Now that flood was created when we opened the gates to 3 large tanks located at the top of the canyon, sending over 70,000 gallons of water thundering down the canyon towards our shuttle. To add just a little more action to that scene, some of that water is blown into the canyon by air cannons. These air cannons are so powerful that if we took one to New York City and stuck a basketball in it, we could shoot that basketball up and over the top of the Empire State Building. The earthquake effect you felt was caused by large hydraulic shaker tables located underneath the bridge. And these shaker tables are so powerful that if we turn one of those all the way up and set a small car inside, we could shoot that car over the railing and into the base of the canyon. Parts 1, 2, and 3 of the end are now busy recycling all that water you just saw back up to the top of the canyon. Catastrophe Canyon was created with the help of a Hollywood special effects team, and what seemed like an out-of-control disaster was actually a safe, computerized decompression event. The whole show can be reset in just 3.5 minutes, and on our busiest days, that's usually just in time for our next shuttle of visitors to go on through. And out from the canyons of California, we're going to head back to the streets of New York City, so just sit back, relax, everyone. We should be there in just a few moments.
There's a plane back there. That's the actual plane that Disney used to stuff this place out with. Roger Rabbit.
Okay, as we turn this big corner up here, I have a great opportunity to wave to everyone in the back of the shuttle. Hi guys, how you doing back there? I don't really get to see you that often. I'm your tour guide up here. I'm the one that's been talking this whole time. How was the canyon? Did you like it back there? Yeah! How about the sprinkler? Was that fun? Well, blame Ernie for that. It's his fault. Okay. Go ahead and take a look over to your right, everyone. You may catch a glimpse of the steel structures that keep our backlot standing. Designed with Florida weather in mind, these facades on New York Street can withstand hurricane-level winds of up to 100 miles an hour, which is actually pretty amazing considering there isn't one brick in any of these buildings. They're mostly made of styrofoam, if you can believe that. And as we pass by the Washington Square Arch, go ahead and take a look over to your right. You'll see what appears to be the New York City skyline right here in Orlando. But if you went up to the skyscrapers, you would see that they were just painted flat, positioned at the end of the street. It's a little trick we call forced perspective. The real Empire State Building stands over 100 stories tall, while ours is just over 4. And that does bring us to the end of our tour, where you can experience the American Film Institute Showcase. Our current exhibit inside is called Driving the Story, and it features transportation props from films like Flubber, Inspector Gadget, Mission to Mars, and Star Wars, just to name a few. Please remain seated, everyone, until the shuttle comes to a complete stop, and check around to make sure you have all those personal belongings. On behalf of your fabulous driver, Ernie, and myself, Christy, I'd like to thank you for joining us in the Backlot Tour tonight. As they open up the doors, you're going to step down carefully, go beyond the yellow lines, and through the blue sliding glass doors into the AFI Showcase. And watch out, everyone. Here come the doors. Have a great rest of your day here at the Disney-MGM Studios. Bye-bye, everyone. Or rest of your night, rather. Earlier today, the production crew was using a special effects rain effect. That's why everything is so wet here right now. We can create almost anything here in our backlot, even the weather. This turned out to be a very good thing because we can't always wait for Mother Nature to provide. We have to be able to create our own. The rain effect that we use here is created with the same exact materials as actual rain. We use high pressure rain cells located overhead to cut down the summer rain. We trace that technology to the end of the output of as you look, you can see that the rain is actually only falling over a house. 10 to 15 feet in front of us. Things want to take two. Questions now? Guys, if you're quick, hear me? Because your drink will get out of your way. Listen to, hey, if this is funny, question for you, hear me? Please take it down. It's over, everybody. We'll be just fine. Oh, yeah. Hold on, everybody.
Yep.
Well, now that you see the front and the front of the captain, why don't we go behind and see how all of these capacities are really creative. You may want to take one long look at the front of the canyon because I promise you it's going to look a lot different from the back. The canyon itself is actually just a steel structure covered in wire mesh. This wire mesh is then covered in a layer of colored concrete, which has been hand-carved to look like natural rock formations. The yellow pipes carry the gas and propane for the fire and explosions that we all saw. The larger pipes carry the water for the flash flood. This flood began when we released the gates for 3 large holding tanks located at the top of the canyon, sending about 70,000 gallons of water rushing down towards our shuttle. To add more action to the scene, we also use high-pressure air cannons to shoot more water into the canyon. These air cannons are so powerful that if we took one to New York City and placed a basketball inside, it would shoot that basketball up and over the top of the Empire State Building. The earthquake effect that most of us felt was actually just control of shaker tables located underneath the bridge. These shaker tables are so strong that if we turned them all the way up, they would toss a small car over the railing and down into the canyon ravine. The canyon was created with the help of a Hollywood special effects team. The entire computerized sequence of events can be reset in about 3.5 minutes. If you look to your right, you'll see a plane that has very special meaning to us here at the Walt Disney Studios. Airports across the country know this twin-engine turboprop as the N234 Mickey Mouse. It's more affectionately known throughout the company as B-Mouse. This is Walt Disney's personal aircraft. One of its first assignments was to shuttle Walt and his Imagineers between California and New York during the final planning stages of the New York World Fair in 1964, where he introduced audio animatronics such as those that you see in the Carousel of Progress and It's a Small World.